AITA for telling my best friend his GF is disgusting? I am not the original poster. That is you, Seaglass 2274. She posted in r, am I the asshole? Mood spoiler. Frustrating but tentatively hopeful? Maybe. Less than. Original post. April 30th, 2023. I, 22F, have been friends with Danny, 22 meters, since high school, and he recently moved in with his current GF Lucy, 22F. They had a housewarming party on Friday and Lucy spent most of the night dancing with her own friends who are very like her, excitable, extroverted, e.g., and dragging Danny away from his conversations with us, his friends, to dance even though he's more like us, introverted, not party animals. Later Danny was being quiet, so I asked if he was okay and he said just tired. But he just kept watching Lucy dancing and then said something in her ear the next time she came over, and she just shook her head and laughed at him. After she went back to her friends, I asked if it was bothering him how she was behaving, and he asked me to explain. I mentioned the attention-seeking dancing and the fact she was wearing something really revealing, even though other guys were at this party. Danny said it didn't bother him, then sat with a moody face. At the end of the night, Lucy sat down with us and started chatting non-stop about how amazing the party had been. I pointed out jokingly Danny obviously wasn't enjoying himself since he looked miserable, and Danny told her I was worried he was jealous because of her outfit. Lucy ruffled his hair, which he hates, and said he was quiet because he loved her outfit so much he couldn't wait for us all to leave so he could drag her to bed. I thought that was completely inappropriate and said to Danny in that case I'd leave if she was just going to be disgusting, and Lucy just laughed at me, so I did leave. Today Danny has messaged me saying Lucy wants an apology before I'm allowed back at their home, but when I asked if Lucy will apologize for making me uncomfortable, he said no, she doesn't have anything to be sorry about. I was genuinely only worried about my friend, but admit I could have just left without calling her disgusting. So AITA? ETA, to clarify, I didn't say the comment about her clothes directly to Lucy. I asked Danny once, then never mentioned it again. I asked him because I know in the past he's said anything overly sexual makes him uncomfortable. He's not the kind of guy who makes innuendos or anything. Also, I'm in no way jealous of Lucy. She's the opposite of how I'd want to be, which is fine. People can be who they want. And Danny and I already tried dating years ago, but the spark wasn't there and it was uncomfortable. After we tried being intimate, and we both agreed we were better as completely platonic friends. OOP's comments say the same thing as her edit, so I did not include them. OOP is unanimously voted YTA. Update post. May 7th, 2023. 1 week later. Okay, I completely accept I was an asshole. I don't know if anyone wants an update since I seem to be Reddit's villain of the week. Before I continue with the update, I'd just like to clarify. Someone DM'd me saying Danny posted an update that Lucy cheated on him. I don't know if Danny even has a Reddit. And while I haven't been able to find the post myself, I can confirm that's not true. Someone is lying to cause further issues. Anyway, I texted Danny and asked if I could sit down with him and Lucy to talk. They agreed and we met for coffee. I emphatically apologized to Lucy and then to Danny. We spoke in detail about how in the past Danny has been similar to me in his attitude towards sex, PDA, etc. Not just our awkward high school fling, but every relationship he's had since. And how he used to be insecure when his ex-girlfriends did anything that made him jealous. Over the years I've become really protective of him because he got hurt a lot. Danny explained that Lucy has brought him out of his shell and he's much more outgoing now. The opposite of how our friend group has just kind of always been. But his social battery does die a lot quicker than hers, which she is understanding of. I haven't seen much of Danny since he and Lucy began dating in March last year. Not because of Lucy, but we've all been busy with college and jobs. We still text all the time and he's the same as always in that regard. So their party was my first look at the new Danny, and I think I obviously didn't cope well with the change since I hadn't been around to see it happen gradually, so to me it seemed sudden. I worried Danny was unhappy because not long ago he would have been miserable and jealous at a party like that and in that kind of relationship. I think throughout the night I convinced myself Lucy was hurting him and wound myself up in self-righteousness, so by the end of the night when Lucy made her comment I thought she was just trying to antagonize me and I wrongly snapped. To cut a long story short, me and Danny are fine. Danny and Lucy are fine. Me and Lucy are going to hang out to get to know each other better. She does seem really nice and I feel horrible for ending her party on such a bad note. OOP's comment. I know a lot of you came up with your own narrative that I'm secretly in love with Danny. But I'm really not. I've never been in love with him. People can be protective of their friends and love someone platonically. Editor's note. A reminder to not comment on OOP's posts or DM her. You will be banned from the sub. She is very 22 years old. What stood out to me the most was the way OOP talked about Lucy. Terms like attention-seeking dancing, and revealing clothes even though there are other men, and implying she is disgusting and inappropriate. Even though Lucy's comment about Danny cannot wait to drag me to bed was pretty mild. Like, come on. Let a girl have fun dancing and dressing as she pleases at her own freaking party. If you get so uncomfortable by the way someone dances and dresses, maybe you should stay home. The best place to whip out your skimpiest dress and try your sexiest twerk moves is in a safe environment, which is at your home and among friends. If you can't stand that someone is different than you and enjoys different things than you, maybe stay home and never leave. Honestly, OOP points sound pretty misogynistic and insecure. So I'm assuming that OOP is over-exaggerating Danny's past relationships. But if she isn't, he didn't like when girls dressed certain ways, were outgoing, or liked parties, kept dating girls who dressed that way, were outgoing, and liked parties, got upset and jealous when those girls continued to be the same people as when he started dating them. They break up and the cycle continues. But then OOP blames those nasty girls for Danny's hurt feelings? If that was what was actually happening, then maybe Danny should have dated people he wasn't going to. Try change LMAO. Lol. OP came to the worst conclusion. I worried Danny was unhappy because not long ago he would have been miserable and jealous at a party like that and in that kind of relationship. I think throughout the night I convinced myself Lucy was hurting him and wound myself up in self-righteousness, so by the end of the night when Lucy made her comment I thought she was just trying to antagonize me and I wrongly snapped. Lol. This issue isn't how mad OP was or that Danny wasn't actually jealous. It's that it shouldn't be a problem at all. If some dude is jealous of his GF dancing and having fun, that would be the dude's issue. YTF would you try to control your GF's fun? Like, OP still thinks that's okay, so wild. The excitable extrovert made me immediately think, pick me. And sure enough, OOP is an ex who's judgy because the new girlfriend likes dancing, wears revealing clothes, and parties. Also, the cliquishness of the whole thing makes me realize how they're still really kids. The introverts versus the extroverts. Really? I consider myself more of an introvert. But if I go to a party with dancing, I'm with the excitable extroverts, I'm with them. I'm also gonna say good for Danny for finding an extrovert he can grow with. As an introverted person who is pretty happy with their life, I still do sometimes see people out there being free dancing, singing, and get a bit jealous, and I'm Mid-30s jealousy is such a horrible trait and feeling. I'm a jealous person by nature and really working hard at combating it. Oops, quite controlling on her friends' relationships. I worried Danny was unhappy because not long ago he would have been miserable and jealous at a party like that and in that kind of relationship. Of course Danny would be unhappy in such situations. One of his best friends goes out of her way to sabotage them. A lot of internalized misogyny going on with Oop. I'm not sure I agree with the comments saying she's obviously in love with Danny. Even if it comes across that way in the first post. The second post makes me feel like she is just a concerned friend versus unrequited crush. Oop isn't overprotective of Danny. She's jealous that he's changing and becoming more outgoing thanks to his girlfriend. And she's afraid she'll end up alone. She also shamed the GF for dancing with guys and wearing revealing clothes. That tells you enough about her nasty character emo. Maybe Oop should work on herself and on her self-esteem issues, instead of trying to sabotage her friend from living his life, just because she wants everyone to live according to her introverted lifestyle. Pick me. Pick me. Attention-seeking is a phrase that says the person they are describing does not deserve attention. Why? Do we not all deserve attention? Why do we never see male-coded activities like working out or driving around in an expensive car? Called attention-seeking. I think we know why. As an Asiro person, I really wish people would accept that behavior, good and bad, can be motivated by something other than romance and sex. It's so depressing reading these, obviously in love, comments. A lot of people thought she was into her friend. But my theory was they were both raised as religious fundies and he isn't anymore. Oh, I get it. Oop isn't in love with Danny. She just has the social skills and awareness of a fetus. A fetus who is also probably in love with Danny. Not in love, definitely jealous. Oop is the main character of Taylor Swift You Belong With Me. Is this pick me girl actions? I could never figure out that stereotype. I'm not jumping on the she's in love with him train. It can be really hard to make friends as time goes on, especially as an introvert. And a lot of the time when someone starts dating someone new, we see them less and they get way closer to the new person they're dating, who we may not even know. I totally get how that can feel threatening. What if they don't have time for you anymore? What if they get close with their partner's friend group and branch off into new hobbies and interests, and you no longer have much in common? What if you drift apart? What if they like the new parts of their life so much, and you're just not that important to them anymore? You still need them around, but they don't need you. If you're really close with someone and they've been an important part of your life for a long time, it can be scary to think about those things. Your friend has this whole new life and relationship that you aren't a part of. And maybe you haven't added anything to your life in that time. Maybe you're afraid of being alone while people around you move on to other things. I don't at all think Op handled herself well. She was mean and a bully to someone who did nothing wrong. But I don't think what happened was unquestionably a romantic jealousy. Seems like good old-fashioned insecurity to me. I hope she gets to the root of that and gets to a better place. She handled herself poorly, but we've all done that at one point or another. It sounds like she's trying to reflect and be better, so I give her credit for that. I think the poor way she reacted was just a desperate attempt to cling on to the need to feel like, in spite of him drifting away from her, their history means she still knows him better than they can. To convince herself she won't be discarded. She wanted to feel like she's still relevant and needed, because she's afraid that she's not anymore. but she attacked someone important to him instead of asking for reassurance.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic AITA is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.